Welcome to the long overdue 2020 edition and first edition of the Tube Animal Construction Scenario Extravaganza video, which is what it is. This is a very old and traditional art form, first established in the 1980s in Holm, I believe, and I'm now going to, without a net, attempt to show you how you can make many animals using only what is left over from a toilet roll, because this is too hard to use, so you have to take it away and put a fresh one in. So Poppy, who is invisible because she's operating the there she is, the camera on the tripod, will now request, and I haven't told you what I can and can't do.
You haven't, no.
Okay, Poppy, what would you like me to make with this tube and these scissors?
Can you make a pig?
I can, I think, make a pig. There are two ways I can make a pig. I make it well or I can make it badly. If I make it badly, I'll make it twice. So a pig is basically a thing that stands on legs that are on two sides, and it's got a front and a kind of back with a tail. So when you're doing a four-legged animal, most four-legged animals that stand on four legs, you can just immediately cut the tube straight down the middle, unless you particularly want something to be particularly long one side or the other. But pigs are symmetrical, so I'm just going to start by cutting straight down the middle. The next thing that we have to think about is how much there is at the end. How much stuff is there at the end? Well, the pig has got quite a big head at one end, so we'll need to have the head separated from the rest of the pig. So I'll start off by having a nice big chunk, vaguely equal amounts of cardboard each side. There we are. That will be what I make the head out of, and I could make this smaller if it's too wide, so you don't have to worry if it's not quite right. Now we have to figure out what we're going to do with the legs. Are we going to fold them down perhaps, or just cut them into shape? I think I'll do a simple cut here and just cut this one down into the right size. So this pig's going to have its feet facing forwards. I've got no idea which way pigs' knees go. I don't really care, because it's a cardboard pig, and cardboard pigs can be either way. So I'm going to simply cut two fairly sturdy legs out of this, going right to the corner here, because I don't need the foot to have a front edge particularly. I just need it to be flat at the bottom, so it'll stand up flat on the table. And then the famous thing about pigs is they're supposed to be fat, so I'm going to cut a big belly here. The belly will be two bellies really, because there'll be one each side. But again, that doesn't matter. Like many things about making cardboard tube animals, it doesn't really matter. Now this is the tail. I'm going to cut an area that's going to be the tail. That'll be the tail. And then to cut away from the tail so it sticks out, I'm now going to cut the back legs, back edge, away from the edge of the cardboard. Okay, so that's leaving a bit of tail, which I can make more interesting in a moment. Now this back leg will need to go up to there, and we'll have, if you drop the cardboard, simply pick it up again. Now we'll have the fatness cutting down and up. I think this pig's fatter one side than the other.
That's okay.
Yes, it's definitely fatter one side than the other, but since we're only one person at a time, we can look at it from only one side, and that will solve the problem. There we are. Now we've got the other side of the fatness, and this is a problem that you find with these tubes, is they're made out of bits of cardboard that are stuck together in a spiral, so you can get a bit of a weak spot where a piece comes out, but you don't have to worry about that, because again, these aren't fundamentally supposed to be very good things. They're meant to be quick and fun. So now I think I can make a pig face quite easily just by, not all the way to the front there, but leave a bit of width for the snout, just folding down like that, and you see it's got quite what Richie's mum calls munchy cheeks. There we go, and there we are. This pig is definitely adopting a stance. I think maybe it's been startled by something in front of it and it's started back somewhat. So now we've got a bit of extra for the tail. So see, this pig's actually very lively. That one of the great things about these animals is sometimes they come to life almost immediately, and you have to chase after them, catch them, chase them around the room, and persuade them that they're not yet complete. Now this tail, as you can see, is curly, and we can actually make the curl a bit 3D just by bending it in a few places until it's a bit 3D. Now this pig is much too wide and flat, so we need to squish it into shape a bit, and then this head has got to go down because they do like to root. And this is the hog's back, which is a ridge. There we are. Now straightening the legs. You never realise how complicated something is until you describe it, do you? I could just do it and think, this is a stupid thing to do. I mean, not that it isn't stupid, it's just stupid and complicated. Right, so there we are. There is a little piggy.
Right, that's great, looking good.
Okay, and now what would you like next?
Can you make a cat?
Do feel free to zoom in using the sophisticated tracking equipment.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Not you,
Look at that cat.
the other one, the
I mean pig.
mysterious
I've got
silent
cat on the
lady
minds.
can zoom in by actually moving the camera closer to
Oh,
the work
yes, of
if she
course.
feels
Wow.
that it was appropriate to have a good look.
Such
You can-
high tech.
Such high tech. If you look closely now on the main scene, if we cut using the main scene, you'll be able to see the other camera. We might edit that out, I think.
And we can see the silent woman's face.
Ah, the other side, yes, and there it is. You can see that its face is has a big space for putting food in. We call that the mouth. At the front of the face. Now you may say that doesn't look much like a pig.
I
So-
might. That doesn't look much like a pig.
Thank you.
It looks like a cardboard animal, slightly more
Yes.
piggy, slightly cardboardy thing.
Would you like to see an animal in a different pose?
I would.
Would you like to see an animal sitting up,
Yes.
like a gorilla or bear or squirrel or something?
I would love a bear.
You would love a bear.
Yes.
I'll see if I can do a bear. Now this is going to be a bit tricky because I'll have to think again.
Oh no, not thinking. You
No.
hardly do that, do you?
Okay. So again, I'm starting off with the basic curved bit with a front. You see, there's the front of the. This is a minimalist bear. You see,
I don't.
see the essence of
Where are his
bearishness.
legs? Oh, there we go.
Thrusting forwards.
Now he's a bear.
All its legs like that. Right.
All
So-
its legs. He's
no.
only got
I
4.
think the bear is going to be like a bit like Paddington or Mary Plain, one of those rather cute bears that sits with its knees bent in a slightly human way. So we'll do the knee bend first. The bit under the knees, for which there is no name. So
Well, I think you just said it. The underknees.
the underknees. It's
Underknees.
the underneath.
Yep.
So I'm going to cut right back these legs.
That'd also be what the language
and
of
then
people
I'm
from
going to make this bear.
Underland.
This bear's going to be shaggy. So I'm going to cut a lot of zigzags
Mm.
so we can have shaggy fur. There we are. Zigzag shag. There we are. That's very shaggy now. See the shagginess? And again here. I'm not cutting too far back with the shagginess because we need big back legs. I need to leave quite a lot of cardboard for the bear's big back legs. You'll notice I'm doing the zigzags 2 different ways. That's part of the glorious luxury of doing something that you've invented yourself.
Isn't
is
that what a zigzag
you
is?
can do it some other way. No, I mean I cut them all like that
Oh.
way. And this way I'm going like that.
Of course.
Because there are many ways of doing a zigzag, and why not enjoy a selection? This is already starting to look like a bear crouching down, isn't it? But we were going to have the bear sitting up. So where's the head going to be, you may well ask?
Where's the head going to be?
The head is going to have to be cut out of what we've got left, because that's all we've got left.
Indeed.
So I think this bear's going to look a bit hunched.
That's okay. I love hunched bears.
But it's going to have ears though. Look, there's an ear.
My favourite type of bear.
The ear appear. And then another ear. Just ear. Over here is another ear. There we are.
Looks a bit
Maybe
angry.
The bear, I think the bear is looking down. Yes, I think it's actually quite. It is quite angry, isn't it?
He's all rah.
Yes, and then there's the bear's bottom. Big round bottom. They have a very big, very round bottom, of course,
Of course.
because they are incredibly heavy.
Yeah, it's my favourite type of bear. Big round bottom bears.
Bears are one of those animals that doesn't have to use violence to kill you. They can just accidentally sit on you, not knowing that you're there.
That's a lovely point.
So these, like horses, they're good at that too.
Yeah.
So we're going to roll these arms over because they're a bit ridiculous, aren't they? And I think we need to now not have the elbows turned inside. So we'll just not have elbows there. We'll just have general furriness. These are quite furry arms now. They've turned out to be furry arms. So there is, as if by magic, only it's not magic, it's effort and bodging, a bear sitting up. You see?
Yeah.
What a jolly bear. Not as angry as we thought.
He did look a
He's
bit angry.
Lowered his arms now in a gesture of peace.
He was angry, but he realised that it's a bad conquest to be
Well,
angry at
as
people.
you may know, some animals are born angry. Some babies cry a lot when they're born.
A lot of babies cry a lot when they're born.
There is outrage.
Outrage.
They say, "What on earth are you doing?
Say, why on earth am I alive?
Why on earth am I alive?"
How dare you?
Of course, this bear's now being admired on video, so it realises that there is a purpose to life after all. I've just noticed we're receiving the Totnes directory through the letterbox. Oh, one of my tubes has escaped.
Oh, how lovely. It's female friendly.
I've got a bear story I can tell
Put
later.
it away. A bear story.
It's female friendly.
Yeah.
Would you like to tell your bear story before we move on to the third species?
It was just a thing on Twitter that I read about this lady who had got attacked by a bear,
Yeah.
and it scratched at her face, and
Yeah.
it was an awful attack. But she said the attack of the bear was nothing compared to dealing with the insurance company afterwards. That was worse.
Wow. Because that was, of course, unnatural. Right, and for my third trick, I would like to do another.
But that bear doesn't look like one who would scratch
No.
anyone's face off.
At first he did, but he's calmed down now.
It would like to work in insurance, but it's not qualified. It's a bear.
How dare you, bear?
I'd now like to do another animal that's more of a four-legged one, but something of a different shape from a pig, of course.
Can you do a
Oh, can I or can I not?
cat? I already
A
said
cat?
no. Wait, I already
No.
said cat.
You said cat.
Yeah.
Go on.
A rabbit. I want a rabbit.
You want a rabbit.
Yes,
Rabbits have a lot of ear, don't they?
they do.
We'll need to cope with having a lot of ear.
I'm already imagining a way you could do that.
Okay, so I'm going to do this cut. I don't always do the single cut, but usually with these bilateral creatures, it's advisable to do the main cut. So this currently doesn't look much like a rabbit. Rabbits are higher at the top.
Got
than
quite
at
an
the bottom.
essence.
So this rabbit basically needs, first of all, it needs a diagonal, because they're higher at one end than the other, aren't they?
Are they?
Oh yeah. The heads stick up like anything.
Of
And
course.
since we can't glue a head on because we're pledged to only use scissors and one tube, we have to have the sticking up be like that. And a bit of folding, of course. We can do a bit of folding.
It's starting to look like a rabbit. Or
So, little bunny paws, like that. Little bunny paws. On the ground. Rabbits are very modest. They don't raise their paws much, do they? They just leave them on the ground. And then we have the curve around the back of the leg and the flank, and then we have to do a
What
delightful
bobtail?
bobtail, don't we? A tail which is like a ball. So here's the circular cut. I use circular in its loosest sense to mean any ellipse or curve or series of straight lines resembling a curve. I mean, I could go on.
It means a lot of things.
Anyway, there is a delightful bobtail. There's some front legs. Now, how are we going to do mighty ears? I think what we should do is to use these side sticky out bits, which they don't have a head like a hammerhead shark, do they? I think what we should do is make these side sticky out bits into the mighty ears, and then use the fantastic
Is he a floppy
technique
ear bunny?
handed down over the years called bending to bend them
No,
into
he's not a
place.
he's not a floppy eared bunny. He's an excitable ear bunny.
Yeah,
Oh, can I request one floppy ear?
one floppy ear. Yes,
One
of
half
course.
floppy ear and one pointy one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, how do we arrange to have the head of the bunny as well as... I think the head is going to have to lift up too, so I'm going to give it a sort of a round face facing to the front. So I'm going to cut now around a sort of a round face facing to the front, like this. This might be a slightly anthropomorphised bunny, or it might not. Cardboard tube animals are unpredictable and generally manifest their own character, sometimes to such an extent that one is forced to say, "Oh,
Right, show the like flat of that. So it looks like a demon praying to their god.
it's a bat demon with a bunny tail."
It's got horns and large hands that he's raising. He's going, ah!
But soon it will be innocentised
Yep.
by the power of bunny cardboard. One ear up, one ear down.
Yay.
There we are, that's a bit of a bendy one there. And that is suddenly an actual bunny.
A bunny!
A bunny.
Oh, wow. Suddenly,
Suddenly it's a bunny. It's actually waving.
as if by magic, a bunny appears.
Unusually, it has lifted one paw in greeting. And now, for anybody who can stand to watch for any longer, are you ready for this? Bonus snake.
Ooh! Wow.
Household
It's already a snake.
kitchen paper towel. Larger, more scope. I'm just going to do this in a rather obvious way. I think you can guess. Spiral. Oh, but that's rather wide, isn't it? So let's make it narrower. What happens when we get to the end and there's two cuts? Oh my goodness! Is it multiple snakes?
Like a myriad of snakes.
It is. It is. It's a plethora. And then, when we get to the end of the snake, we can make it have a proper head, a nice diamond-shaped head, like that. And then a sticky-out tongue, like that. And then if we're really lucky, we can get it to sit up. This is the difficult bit with snakes. Can you get them to sit up? Yes, sometimes you can. This snake is going to be just waking up.
This is a great way to scare your children. Get some scary myriad snakes and throw them. No, I would not recommend doing that. Wouldn't like
You're a
it.
teenage cynic.
I'm not a teenage cynic. I'm an average cynic.
Oh, okay.
You're an average teenage cynic, or a teenage average cynic perhaps. There we are. And this one, I think, is just going for a walk. or whatever it is that snakes call it. I don't really know how they refer to their way of moving.
Snakes and pigs and bears, oh my.
Yeah. Going for a glide, perhaps.
A slither. Going for a little slither.
Yeah, going for a little slither.
There we go.
There we are. Very curly snake, that one.
Thank you.
Looking over the edge. What is over the edge? We do not know, we are not told. Thank you for bearing with me, and also pigging and snaking and rabbiting with me. Ah, ha ha ha. And I hope that you'll come back to this, whatever this is, for something which is either similar or different at a point probably in the future. Thank you.